2, 1. We are live.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
And here he is. We're back.
There he is.
All three of us.
Yes,
There's three today.
And there we go. And already the started.
Yes. Well, thank you for everybody for watching or listening if you're on the podcast. And if you're watching, welcome to the show. And before we start, because people can do math, I'm being kind. There's usually two of us. Today we have a third person. So yes, it's right. That's what we always tell people. So we should introduce this nice gentleman who we found.
Can I introduce him?
I was hoping you would, because I have no idea of who he is. He just showed up.
I'm going to point down there. He's down there, roughly. He's over there. Now that is his. What he's done. He's put his Instagram handle on there, which is technically cigarguy.pk. Now, the young man sitting below us is a friend of mine. He's been a friend of mine for at least 3, perhaps 4 years. Usman, welcome, Usman, to this little gathering of 2 people, which is now 3 people. We've multiplied. And Usman
like Noah.
He's sitting in Pakistan right now with 45-degree heat outside. Some people have thought that may be an angle and splits the 90 degrees, but anyways, 45 degrees outside. Yeah. And Usman is Pakistan's first certified Habanos Sommelier. He is a proper expert on Cuban cigars. He has forgotten things I've yet to learn about this industry. And I just dropped a casual comment to Usman. Usman, you want to be on the show next week? He said, yeah, right. And there he is.
And there he is. Yes. So basically, you've been friends for 4 years, so the check's clear. Good to know. So I like that. That's the important thing. Clear. Yeah. Usman, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Steven and Raza. Thank you for this exaggerated introduction. Someone who's learning cigars.
Well, we'll find out if it's exaggerated. We're going to put it to the test right now.
Yeah, right. and okay. And yes, I have been fortunate to be called as Raza's friend for the last 4 years. And I think the thing that brought us together was, again, cigars. So that's passion, that's hobby, that's lifestyle, something which completes the whole equation of things.
Yes. It's a gelling instrument. It has brought so many eclectic characters into the fold. And here's another one. And let's see how he fares on the show today.
Oh, this will be fun. No, I always say cigars are a great equalizer, because nobody cares if you're smoking a $2 one or a $250 one. It's sort of a brotherhood of cigars. You know what I mean? It's just very nice. It's just something whether I'm by myself, which is how I really prefer it. But if I'm at a cigar lounge or out with mates, I like you have a cigar, and sometimes you don't have to say anything. You just enjoy the moment. And that's what a cigar is. So it really is an old world thing. A lot of people today smoke it because they think it's new world and they're trying to be cool. Not so much. I'm very much old world when I come to it. So this show I like because I get to smoke cigars with my friends. So I like that. And for all you Americans that don't know what 45 Celsius is, that's 120 Fahrenheit. So let me just help you. We'll do the math there for you, because I know most of them now are like 45. What? It's cold there. Why is it's Pakistan. It's not supposed to be cold. It's summertime. I'm like 45 Celsius, 120 Fahrenheit. We have to help. We're not the smartest country. So
this may not be the first time a dinner show is bridging three time zones, but it could be. Now,
it could be.
Just to kick off, because it is about cigars, I have to let you know what I'm smoking. I am smoking a cigar I haven't smoked for a long, long time. Partagas Presidente. Now I saw a lady smoking this cigar
Oh,
in one of
really?
my favorite lounges in London, Tom Tom, a couple of days ago, and it
Right.
got the sort of the wish going, and I went and found one, and I thought today I would smoke a Partagas Presidente in front of
Very
Usman
nice.
and Dr. Stephen, and I'm pairing it with my Eminente rum from Cuba,
Very nice. And
just to
let's
get
Nice.
the juices
explain
flowing.
now. See, he's a real cigar guy because you could tell he's blowing it. And I had a girl that used to do that for me, but not on a cigar. But anyway, he's blowing the cigar and lighting it and whatnot. So explain what you're doing because you are the certified sommelier when we are not.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, first of all, the cigar, Raza, since you said introduce Chapman, one of my favorite brands, NA Chapman Royal
Bring it near the
Robusto.
camera. Let's have a
With,
look. Let's bring it. There we
There we
go.
go. Oh, we're doing better. There you go.
That's
Nice.
yep.
that's a good cigar.
So that's an NA Chapman Royal Robusto. But I mean, I think
Okay.
there's a pride and joy of mine. The first time I
Oh wow!
branded Zycar cutters and lighters that we've
Very
just
nice.
gotten from Zycar in the US, because many countries big enough or the ones with a lot of cigar smokers have this luxury of buying
Right.
cigar accessories. First time ever we've gotten these made in Pakistan,
Wow.
and Zycar was kind enough to do this for us. So yeah, just received like this earlier this week.
Very
So
nice.
yeah, so I'm smoking an H. Upmann Royal Robusto, which is a La Casa del Habano release, only for the 140 outlets known as La Casa del Habanos across the world. While you were talking and while you were asking what I was doing, I just cut my latte with the cutter with my normal Zycar cutter, and while I was lighting my cigar,
Right.
blowing a bit of air towards it so that it doesn't get hotter and it becomes an even burn and uniform. And that way it helps give a very, very, I would say, subtle slash very, very consistent kind of a, and I don't
Okay.
feel like because if you char it with more than a single torch lighter, like a double
Right.
torch or a double three torch lighter, or something which is powerful enough, you might just burn the whole thing. The whole thing is to toast it a bit and then blow air on it, and then I just light it up. So that
Okay.
way I can actually taste the aroma and the flavor profile of cigar in a much better format.
Very cool.
As far as
I'm
the
gonna,
pairing is concerned, as far as the pairing is concerned, I live in a country. The choice of drinks has to be non-alcoholic. Hence, my pairing for the day in this sweltering heat is a cup of tea,
there you go.
or as I,
Stephen,
And
did you
shall I?
notice? Did you notice the difference between me and Usman just now? Do you know the professional, educated way that he delivered this monologue about how you light a cigar? Me, I lit
yes,
my cigar.
you lit your cigar
I lit
because
my
you have
cigar.
that.
That's it.
I know, no,
Finished.
here's you and I like the cigars the same way because you have your little, excuse me, ST DuPont lighter, and
Nope.
you go click so it dings around the world, and then you go and then you puff it. And I do this kind of the same thing, but next time I light my cigar because I'm inside and I can't smoke inside. That's the rule of the studio. Um, I am going to try his way. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to talk beautiful things to it. I'm going to make love to it, and then I'm going to torch it a little. I'm going to blow it a little. And then I'm going to I'm going to go find my sugar
How
baby and go,
cool.
what the hell am I
How
doing this
cool.
for? This is your job. And there you go. So,
Stephen, you
yeah,
have in the first 10 minutes learned something already, and so have I.
I have that. None of us are wearing pants.
Usman, hats
I'm,
off to you already, sir.
there you go. It's great.
Are we
So
going for round one? We've done all the
we're
intros.
going to, before we
Are we
start, since
doing round one?
I can't have a cigar, but I do have a Centauri, 25-year-old.
Oh
And
yeah,
she was
Santori
lovely,
time.
but I'm going to drink this
Nice.
whiskey. No, I'm going to have my beautiful Centauri. So cheers and thank you for coming and everybody watching and listening. Cheers and good health, as we like to say, or in my
Thank you.
people, L'chaim. And to the tea, man, L'chaim to you too, my friend. Cheers.
So this week's theme is fighters. There was a reason why we had this theme. Our conversation last week delved into people who will just not give up,
Yes.
who will not die, who will not fade into the background, who will stay there, who are going to unite despite disuniting in the middle.
Yep.
Do you know where I'm building up to? I'm going to go first, by the way, this one.
I'm aware of that. I was like,
these
this
three
is
of
not
us
even
have
a
got
shock.
3 fighters as our choices. I am going... Oh, by the way, can I just give out a shout out?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President, for watching. Donald Trump. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me just tell you something. If you didn't last week's show, how you and Trump are almost related.
Yes.
We put that on our Instagram, and that got like 20 million people. I put how Riz and Donald Trump are related. Everybody and their grandmother has watched that short on Instagram and on YouTube because they all want to know how you and Donald Trump, or as I like to call him, Donnie, are related. Donnie called. He was very happy we mentioned him. He's going to come on. He doesn't smoke or drink. So I said, send the wife. So somebody's going to come on the show one day.
And therefore, who is my first dinner guest, my fighter dinner guest this week?
Oh my God! Seriously?
Someone who's a fighter, who will keep going.
Mighty Mouse.
Have chosen Genghis Khan.
Oh, can I tell you? So did I.
Good one.
He was on my list.
Related to me, 99% chance that he's related to me. And
there's 99% chance he's related to everybody. That was very good. Genghis Khan. Very good, my friend. Very good.
Khan. And I went for someone who would a little bit sound Pakistani because Usman is on the show. So I went for the Khan.
Wow, Mr. Genghis Khan. I had him on my list. Now I'm glad I wrote down 26 people like I usually do.
Now, if I had him over for cigars, Scotch, and dinner, Scotch and cigars,
sure.
I'm sure after murdering me, he would enjoy a great cigar.
But I've read history books on him because I'm fascinated by him, and I will tell you that's not actually accurate. What he would do is he would come into a community, if you will, or a citadel. And he would literally rape the cattle and stampede the people. No.
Right.
But he would go ahead. That's a Mel Brooks line. He would go in and take over, and he would give you a choice after they got done raping and pillaging. That if you survived as a man, they would give you a choice to fight for them or die.
History is often written. The history that we've read
by
is
the
often
victors.
written by the
victors.
And so Genghis Khan has come across perhaps far too badly from that front. All of these leaders and fighters have their own level of sophistication. I agree with you. And I gave a little bit of a stereotypical opening. But these were people that united great nations. These were people that fought and carried on going. And they didn't particularly, I don't know what the context of their time was necessarily, but they have left their mark on history in a big way. So my opening gambit is the Khan. Who's going next?
Our guest should go next.
Usman.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Well, I is someone you guys termed as a do-gooder in your last video. To me, it was a liaison. To me, it was. It's less of a do-gooder only, but more of a fighter, and that is someone who name again, Abdul Sattaridi, the man who owned the biggest ambulance service in the world, the man who had air ambulances to his name and all of that, yet the entire life had 2 on him just to survive till the time they were not torn. He wouldn't change. And the only thing he would do is go out and work for people. Someone who actually picked up more dead bodies in a day than we could have thought about or seen. Someone who actually helped a lot of homeless children, children who were born and abandoned, children who were physically challenged or disabled or differently abled, as we say today. And also someone who, so I think he was the right kind of person, in my opinion, to be called a fighter, given the condition and geographical sphere he was living in.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
Pakistan is not an easy country to live in, even if you have a lot of means to yourself and things and all of that. But somebody who had all of this to his name and all the essentials of the world that he could have used, he didn't. We have a lot of other charities who are there in the country who do a lot of good work, yet the byproduct is those charities.
Very nice.
And
I
here,
agree with
this was
that.
a man who was like this. So yeah, I think Abdul Sattar Idi to me was more of a fighter than only being called a do-gooder.
No. The
That's
interpretation of
beautiful.
fighter is very, very wide. In
It's
fact,
very broad.
we take artistic license, creative license, wherever you want to take it, but there must be some sort of underpinning theme. So that is a fighter and a half. And
Yeah.
I agree. Kudos. Yeah. Now, before I give my three, I just want to say I like the fact that you've got Castro, Mark Twain, and Winston Churchill to your right. I like that. That is very nice.
That's Castro.
Yep.
That's Churchill. But the one in the middle is not Mark Twain.
Well, he's a
He
little
is my
white guy.
Colonel Sanders.
second fighter.
He says who?
He is my second fighter, and I
Oh, don't
shall
show
bring
us
it
yet.
close. So this is
Oh,
Jinnah. Call it in Pakistan.
Oh, this
Jinnah
shit.
is the father of.
ah,
Yes, that's
all
so
right. He looks
that's a
like I can't. I
bobblehead
hate to tell you
for
from a
Jinnah.
distance, he looks like Winston Churchill. I'm not Winston Churchill. Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, right?
Okay. Well, so yeah. I mean, Jinnah.
All right, we'll talk about him in a
Well,
second.
because yeah,
That's
So
another great choice.
yeah, that's gonna be an interesting second for him. Okay, so my first choice is
yeah.
gonna trump everybody. Just
Donald
because
Trump.
no, calm down. I want somebody I respect at least. You know, it could be Mickey Mouse for this point. All right. So my choice for fighters, for my first choice, is something that you said last week. And I said, I know exactly who I'm picking right after you said it. And that just went right over your head, which is good. I'm picking the full New York City Fire Department on 9/11.
I said Steve
Ah.
Buscemi. I said Steve Buscemi.
Yep. That was it. So Stephen was there. So shout out to him. But I'm picking all of New York City's fire department and police department, the guys who rushed to go into the building to save everybody. That those are fighters to me for 9/11 of 23 years ago. So yeah, so those were my first pick for fighters. So there you go.
I think we did well. I think we all did well. I went for a little bit more of a savage approach.
Well,
Usman
I was
went
picking
for
him
the
too, but
humanitarian approach.
Yeah.
And you went for the disaster relief approach.
On my list. He's right there on my list. So
Round two.
round two. We already know who he's. Let him start. He already round two'd it. So let's go with his little bobblehead.
Oh. Okay.
Me?
Yeah. Well,
No, he did.
No, Usman already started.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Reza. This one.
Jinnah.
Okay. So Jinnah. Okay. So Jinnah. Well, not many people might know, and a lot of people would know. Jinnah, founder of Pakistan, and I picked him. I mean, because all of them have been cigar smokers, and extremely eloquent while talking. Someone who dressed very well, someone who had all the luxuries of his life, and kind of gave up all of that and fought for a cause on the two nation theory, and like now 7 years ago was the reason for Pakistan's existence. So to me, at that point in time, and also during the partition when hell broke loose, this was the guy who stood up. And why I say him fighter is that he knew he was not well, but he did not let that become a hindrance to the cause. He passed away just 1 year after the existence or bringing of Pakistan. And here comes Jinnah's stand. Yes, sir.
That's a cigar.
So I think
on there smoking cigar.
Absolutely. So yeah,
Very nice.
to me, he is someone I would absolutely regard as a fighter.
Very nice. That's beauty. Very beauty. All right, my friend.
I can see I'm not the serious person in the room.
Not
I can
anymore.
see everyone has taken this great weight and delivered really good, masterful. My round two. Fortunately or unfortunately, I try to span genres, as Stephen knows. I'm going for a fictional fighter, please.
Of course you are.
I'm going for someone that appears when then there is no hope. I'm going for someone who is not some form of he's been given superpowers or anything like that.
So not
I'm
underdog.
going for someone who fights against the underworld of the system called Gotham City.
Oh God.
I'm going
Seriously.
for Batman. I'm going for the Bat. Bruce Wayne, the man who doesn't have special powers but uses his brains and money and athleticism to go after those that would do harm.
Okay.
And it's no coincidence that I'm surrounded by sort of Batman villainous paraphernalia. There's a penguin behind me somewhere there, over there. I'm sitting in the Iceberg Lounge. I'm proverbially the type of person Batman would go after. So,
and you call me a Bond villain. And you call me a Bond villain, so I got that going for me. So there you go. So
we're
very
villains
cool.
in our own ways. It's nice to be a villain. There's more character in a villain.
There you go.
But Batman
I agree with that.
is the admirable fiction, because I thought, you know what, I'm going to pick someone from the cartoon genre. I'm going to pick someone from the comics. I'm going to pick someone from the movies. And even when it comes to movies and cartoons and Marvel, you know, all these people have got superpowers. They were inherited, you know, they inherited superpowers. Batman inherited misfortune. His parents died in front of him. And he inherited money. That's not his fault. He inherited money. But what did he do with it? He set out to avenge and create justice. So there we go. There's no coincidence that the Justice League was formed underneath Batman.
Thanks.
A symbol of hope.
Oh, the Justice League. You know, I'm not even gonna listen. They have one hot chick. That's it. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. So when I was a kid, that's all I was like, oh, Wonder Woman, she's hot. That'll work.
There she was.
That was the only reason I would watch it. No. Well, back in the day in the comic books, I'm talking about. Linda Carter was, the first Wonder Woman. But yes, and hello, Linda. How you doing? So I have an. I'm going to give an honor.
By the way, that's one advantage of having Bruce Wayne at dinner. He'll bring some fucking good cigars with him.
Does he smoke cigars?
Well, he would if he's sitting with me having dinner.
I'm just checking. I mean, you know. I'm just saying, does he smoke cigars? I don't know. All right. He's like, all right, maybe. I don't know. But I want, the Bruce Wayne that I want to show up is either going to be Adam West, because I want the goofy Bruce Wayne, or Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne.
Michael Keaton forever.
Yeah. I think Michael Keaton was the best Batman. Nothing against anybody else who played it, but Michael Keaton
was the best Batman. Michael Keaton is
superb. And I saw the movie The Flash, where Michael Keaton was there, and what's his face, George Clooney, and all these people, and it was just seeing Michael Keaton again revise that role was like the best. So I remember that.
He's the grandee. He's the grandee of Bruce Wayne's.
Yeah, but I do like Adam West's Batman though. If you want kind of the slapstick Batman, so either one of those guys could show up.
What you're doing, I can see, is you're stalling your second choice because it's not going to beat Batman.
It's
certainly not going to beat Jenna. Certainly, it's not going to beat Jenna. Right? Batman was a lame attempt. Let's see what kind of attempt you make on number 2. There you go. Get yourself ready.
So I'm going to honorable mention a guy named Cassius Clay, better known as Muhammad Ali.
Please don't.
I just honorably mentioned. I honorably mentioned him because I met him. The nicest guy in the planet. He did a magic trick for us. When I was an investment banker, somebody knew him and brought him to the office. He was a very nice guy, but he fought for a lot of things. He fought for peace, which was a good thing. He fought for equal rights. So he was a fighter, and literally he was a fighter, pound, pound, boom, boom. So he's an honorable mention, which by the way would trump You're that, please. So that wasn't why. So I just wanted to go through my list and see who else I want to honorable mention before I shove someone down your throat. I'm going to throw one of my people from history, which everyone's going to have to look up, which I love. And I'm going to screw up her name. She's from China, of course. Her name is Fu Hao, Fuhao. I just like the first.
And when.
Fu Hao and Wen. Yes, I know her sister. Easy. But Fu Hao, if it wasn't for her, she was a fighter, and she is one of the women that they give credit to for uniting China back.
What is this
ago.
Oblique fascination you have with the Orient?
With ornamentals? I love ornamentals. Hang them on my tree.
You have this. No, but this is really cool. You have a historical insight and interest into the Orient. This is going to spill into our conversations. I suspect in the future as well. That's very cool.
Yeah. No. I've been studying the Orient. And when I say this joking around, I had a friend when he used to date Orientals, and he would, before you can't call them Orientals, and we'd call them ornamentals. And I tell him we hang them on a tree. But I've been interested in China since I was like 5 years old and been reading books on it. So I'm very versed.
She united China.
She's one of the women that's given credit to uniting China.
And Genghis Khan
united
everyone against China.
Correct. So
Genghis
that would be an
Khan
interesting
was the
dinner.
Donald Trump of his era.
Yes, was in many ways. He grabbed a lot of pussy. So there you go. You can say grab. You can say grab on YouTube. I think so. You can say grab on YouTube. But yeah, so I thought she would be interesting because she united, if you will, almost the continent, and Genghis Khan united it in another way. So yes, I thought that would be an interesting person to have at a dinner, because I would want to hear her story in more ways than one.
You didn't beat Batman.
Please, Muhammad Ali beats Batman. Batman.
I didn't beat Jinnah on this game.
Well, no one's going to beat his guys.
Any given day.
Yeah, his guys are great.
You had an honorable mention. Before we do round 3, should we just go around quickly doing honorable mentions?
We can. So mine was Muhammad Ali, and then I've got one other. Maybe I may use him. I'm not sure yet. So mine would be Muhammad Ali for now.
Usman, honorable mentions.
Che Guevara.
Yeah, would have been my honorable mention as well. I'm also going to add.
And that was like list. in the literal sense of fighting.
And I'm going to add Napoleon Bonaparte to that.
Sure. Yeah.
Fueled
he's only this tall.
Chinese stuff. Well, that was the myth.
I know he was like 5'6". He was 5'6" or 5'7", if I'm not mistaken, on the stuff I've read.
He was of average height. Yeah. And there's one
like that.
Historical figure, Julius Caesar.
Well, then if you're going to do Julius Caesar, I thought about him. You would also have to throw in Alexander the Great, who conquered by the time he was 30 most of the known world.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
You have to throw him in as well. Yeah.
There's no end of historical fighters because that's what they did. It's just the ones that we remember as the great ones, really, to be really very honest with you. You could go for
Mike Tyson.
No. You go for Mike Tyson. I mean, Mike Tyson was he's still fighting.
Mm-hmm.
I love him.
Albeit delayed. Round 3. Who's
round
going
3?
First on round 3?
I'm going to go last because everybody's mine's going to be pretty funny for the last.
Let me go first.
Sure.
Primarily because you have mentioned the person that beyond my own father I admire the most. Iconic, mythic, cross-generational, cross-genre. He's got to be the greatest. It's got to be Muhammad Ali. He has got to be. That's just a fighter and a half. Yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you watch. I mean, if you're on YouTube, you watch other fighters talk about him.
Yep.
One of the most savage fighters of the modern generation, Mike Tyson, talks about him in a very emotional way and says, "This man just was prepared to die in the boxing ring. How do you beat someone like that? It's so hard to beat someone who it's not about refusing to give up, refuses to acknowledge punishment. They just keep going and going and going. There's my favorite word in the English language is one that I can put on Muhammad Ali. and that word is inexorable.
Ooh.
Inexorable. The thing that does not stop. It
Yep.
keeps going. Nothing. And as a student of physics, I understand that's what happens with energy. Energy never dissipates. It just changes from one form to another. So for me, the human personification of a fighter is Muhammad Ali.
And Muhammad Ali on Arsenio Hall had a talk show here in the United States, and I came across this interview about 3 days ago, where it was Arsenio Hall, Muhammad Ali, and Mike Tyson, and
Sugar Ray
Tyson
Leonard.
was, and I don't know if Leonard was that interview, but the part that I saw was Tyson just giving Muhammad Ali was like giving kudos to Mike Tyson, and he literally said stop. He was like, and Mike Tyson turned around and said he was praising him like there was almost in tears. And that to me was a great sign of respect. And this is, if you pound for pound it, I wouldn't want to put Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson in a ring together, because I don't think it would fare well for Muhammad Ali. However, I think that the respect that Tyson had for Muhammad Ali was huge. And I think what Muhammad Ali just did for sports and for people of color in general. I saw him in an interview with Dick Cavett, and Dick Cavett said, and this is in the 60s, Dick Cavett said to Muhammad Ali, says, black children, he didn't call them children of color, he said blacks are, they either can be football players or boxers or athletes. Like they weren't known as anything else. And he said, what do you think? He said to Muhammad Ali, what do you think? He goes, I would never tell a child to be wanting to be an athlete. He said, I told him to excel at academics. And I thought that was like a beautiful statement.
I'll say something here on a serious note.
Sure.
There's a compliment that it's a very internal compliment that I pay Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
And maybe that is the success story that he wanted, or perhaps I can't quite describe it, but I'm going to say it. I don't see Muhammad Ali as a black man.
Right. He's just a man.
I see Muhammad Ali. I don't see him categorized, even though he did a huge amount for the black. I see him. That is what a person should be. Correct. That is what a person, because they transcend everything. Correct. They're totally transcendental. They're totally above it. They're totally, and that is the beauty of that kind of personality. Yep. Is their personality is sort of has an aura that goes beyond their skin. Yep. And that's why, I mean, I'm kind of I'm unlucky. I never met the guy,
right?
But I would have had that almost a spiritual experience about being in his presence. Saying, yeah. This is it. This is. Yeah. I remember since when I was about 2.5 years old, my father watching Rumble in Jungle on TV, yep. And my God. What mythos, what legendary emotions that evokes. Yeah. Anyway, that's my round 3.
All right, very nice. All right, my friend, who's your round 3?
Well, my round 3 has been my round 3 has been stolen already, because that was going to be Muhammad Ali. But as a backup, I had a feeling this would happen. And that's also from sports. And that's, to me, Tiger Woods. And why I say that is someone who started playing at a very young age, went through a boom, came down crashing, again went through a boom, came down crashing, giving people a run for their money. So I think he is someone who can inspire a lot of people but it's an individual sport from that perspective.
Do you play golf?
But someone who actually showed. Golf? I do. And that's why that's something I have picked up, and I think I really get inspired by the fact that he hasn't given up still, and now is working on to bring in the 3rd generation into the play. So his son has started playing. So I think that's also he has overcame the physical challenges, the reputational challenges, yet he has made sure that he's still on the ground and is serious enough that the challengers or the competitors get intimidated by his presence.
Often the reputational challenges are the biggest challenges.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he overcame those as well.
Tiger Woods.
So yeah, why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he beat a tree. No, anyway. So it's really
What
listen.
the hell
It
does
was
that mean? He beat a tree.
and he what listen. It wasn't his fault. He beeped the horn. So things happen. So it's just one of those things. So you sometimes you crash into a tree because it didn't move. It's one of those. It's a bad thing.
Oh,
So.
I see. Yeah. Next, right? Yeah, I didn't know this.
Oh yeah. So he
I know
apparently
nothing about sports. I know
okay.
nothing about sports.
So golf is a game where they play with this long stick and a little ball, and you
have to
hit
get
this
the ball
ball.
in a little hole.
A little hole, right? It's like dating. It's like dating, and then so it's one of those things. But yeah, so golf is interesting, and Robin Williams has the greatest 5-minute bit on how golf was invented that I've watched, and every time I watch it, I just cry because it's the funniest thing, and that's true. It's like, no, we're going to do it 18 times, and then if you listen to that bit, you have to then go watch Caddyshack, and then there's how you play golf,
which I haven't seen. I still haven't seen Caddyshack.
I know you got to see Caddyshack, yeah. Because I like to tell people when we play golf, I play Rodney Dangerfield golf. The character that he portrays in Caddyshack that's who I am on the golf course. So if you can't handle that character, I'm like, you don't want to play golf with me. I am that guy. So
once again, Stephen is delaying the inevitable.
No, I already got it.
His third choice is Donald Trump. The fighter,
no.
the fighter.
No.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, right. If it was going to be anybody, it would probably be his wife because she keeps screwing him for that. It's the prenuptial every time. So if he gets to be president again, he's probably going to lose everything. Anyway, no, I think we were talking about fighters. We're talking about things, and fighting to me is war because we have Genghis Khan. We have Attila the Hun. We have Fun Ho, who in the United China,
Napoleon,
all these people, and we got Castro in the background. We got Churchill over there. This is it.
Oh, yeah,
so if we're going to talk
about, you've got Fidel Castro there. Wow.
Yeah, not alive. Sir? He's dead, but he's got him. Yeah, good. Fidel is a fighter. I mean, look what Fidel did. He held off America for 60 years. So you got to give some credit where credit is due. But I am going to take somebody, which I'm shocked that nobody picked. Shenzi, The Art of War.
Sun Tzu.
Yeah, of course. You want to talk about a fighter? That's a fight. The Art of War. So.
Fair point.
How many steps? How many steps? Is it 10 steps or 15 steps? There's sort of
I like 15, but I have a book. And it's somewhere in the library behind me, and I can't get to it, but I'll try to remember it. But it is the art. It's this thick, and it's the Chinese translation, and then it's literally the original Chinese into English. And when you read that version compared to the version that they print for the kids, that's whatever. It's much different, and it's very interesting, and it's more in depth. And then military analysts, which I liked, gave their logic behind it, and not just like Chinese military analysts, but analysts from around the globe. So the book is like this in-depth study guide of the art of war, and I use it more for business or when we take over small third world countries. So I enjoy that. So to me, it's fascinating stuff. So yeah. So
by the way, very quickly, Usman, how's your cigar smoking?
Yes.
As always, fantastic. I mean, this is a cigar which I never go wrong with. And since I wanted to concentrate on the conversation and enjoy my cigar both, so I picked up the easiest of the lots for me. Didn't want any troubles that I'm just screwing it with a perfect draw or anything like as always.
Just so it helps, this is a tasty cedary one. Slightly chocolatey, a little bit tight on the draw, I should have left it out of the humidor for a couple of days.
The fact that it's a double figurado, it has always the fact that it's a double figurado, it is a bit tight on the draw, regardless of
what is a double
or whether you've conditioned or not.
What is a double
this is a cigar which so a double figurado are the cigars which have a pyramid shape on both of the sides. So on the cap
Ah,
and on the foot, both sides are like parejo, which is one side, which is the foot, which is open, and the cap is a closed cap, like a standard cigar.
There you go. This
So
is the
yeah,
man. This is the man. That man up there is the man.
it's a sommelier. I mean, come on, he should know that. He read that in the book. So
He
now
wrote the
tell
book.
everybody. He wrote the book.
yeah.
So tell everybody. Now we've had our dinner guests, and we'll go review them in a little bit. But tell everybody what it takes to become a cigar sommelier. What did you have to go through?
The first and foremost with anything and everything, I think that is have to do something, and I think
Right.
I was gifted with the fact that I have an nature where I would prefer to know the theory of things before I actually delve into experimenting them. So even if I buy a car, my first thing would be, where's the manual? I would like to
Right.
read that first and then do the needful. So I
Oh no,
think
no,
when
no!
I've been
You skipped
smoking.
too fast. You skipped too fast. You skipped too fast. One very, very interesting thing, Stephen, and also the people
Mhm.
listening. Usman runs classic car events in Pakistan. He has a classic VW Beetle which he's restored, an orange
Very
one,
nice.
which I absolutely adore. That car, I adore that
Cool.
car from a distance. Everyone should go to
Thank you, thank you.
Usman's Instagram, cigarguy.pk, and have a look and put likes and comments. This guy is a man of many talents, by the way, and that little one just bubbled to the surface about the knowing things and then getting into them. So carry on.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, that's a pride and joy. So as Raza mentioned, it was exactly the same when I was restoring my bug, and now I'm restoring other two cars. So it's the books, and I'm going to what was that was to be done in the first place.
Right.
With cigars, it was a bit different. Cigars I started smoking back when I was studying in London, and this was in 2006. So when COVID hit, the fact that we had a lot of time to our hands, so the cigar smoking kind of increased to almost daily from
Gotcha.
twice or thrice a week,
Right.
is when I started to look for anything where I can study on cigars, because I had a lot of cigar books, but I was like, I would like to know more in theory and the concept of the whole thing. For us, the Society for Habanos Sommelier is information which is something which is associated with Habanos and the Cuban cigars and all that stuff. And that was the first year in 2021 that, because of COVID, they started offering an online course for three. It's a course with a duration of around 3 months,
Okay.
and talking on cigars, the history of cigars, how they're cultivated, what do they pair with, what is it that you need to know about cigars, and all that stuff. So the marketing side as well as the theoretical side of making stuff. So I was lucky from that perspective that I was able to enroll in the second cohort, which
Okay.
happened in 2022. So it was a 4 months long, 3.5, 4 months long course, and then followed by an exam and a presentation and all that stuff. And that's what got me to the Habanos. So fun fact is that I am not only the first Pakistani Habanos sommelier, but so far the only Pakistani who has ever thought about reading something on cigars formally,
Wow.
and the only one in the world who has an origin from Pakistan. Yes,
Very nice.
I've completed the first level. Now I'm eyeing towards the Masters of Habanos program by SHS next year when they offer it
Okay.
in person in Cuba. So I'm looking forward to going to Cuba and attending the course.
Very nice. And you can meet Castro.
And
Well, in spirit. So,
actually,
Can I ask
well,
Usman a
yeah, in
question? Can
spirit.
I ask him a
And
question?
just Raza, just a minute, and just to be clear, this isn't my bread and butter. So I
okay.
am, just as you, just as Raza, a corporate guy. This is pure passion and love for. So
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
have
Yes.
no business interests in this whole thing.
There you go.
Usman, if you were to
Yes, His
recommend
Highness.
anyone, any novice such as me, a book to read about
Yeah, right.
cigars in general or Cuban cigars, what book would you recommend?
Okay. Okay. I would recommend two books, not one. If you're someone who is interested in reading, as they say, textbook, I would say read The World of Habanos, which is by Habanos. So that is a textbook if you want to learn more. But if you want to, and if you want to read something which is a not text format, yet a lot about, or an encyclopedia kind of thing for cigars, I would say the latest release, and an excellent attempt cigar world together and putting in all the cigars that Cuba has made since year 2000 and onwards is El Habano Moderno, which is written by the owner of the website, Cuban cigar website, Alexander Thomas Groom. Alex has done a phenomenal job in making sure that that book not only has information on any and every cigar till date made, yet uh, the pictures in that cigars are from the original cigars that were collected for the
Oh, wow.
actual sizes. The book weighs almost around 12 pounds or 6 kgs, as I would say.
That's better.
Wow.
And the first, yeah, yes, kgs, yeah. So I was lucky to
Are there
know
any
about
comic
it
books that I
when
could
it
read
was
that
in
are a little
its.
more my level?
He wants a
Okay,
picture book with,
there
with
are.
Batman in it.
Uh, there is cigars for dummies. Go for that. You asked for
Yeah.
it.
That's awesome.
You asked for it.
Oh, uh, private joke.
Mhm,
Usman,
mhm.
Gio.
Yeah.
Gio.
Ah, cheers. Cheers. So, Dr. Stephen,
Uh,
just so that you know, Geo is in Urdu. What cheers?
cheers.
We
Yeah.
were struggling to find a word in the Urdu, Punjabi, any sort of
Language.
cross Pakistan
Right.
language that could be the word for cheers.
Right.
And the word is Gio. Gio means live, live and
Geo
prosper.
it is. I
Live.
like it. I'm going to
Gio,
use
live
that.
and prosper.
I'm going to use that. I like that now because I so I can go Geo to someone. And I'll go, what do you mean by that? I go, look it up.
Live and prosper.
Yeah.
Look it up. What do I
Yeah.
care?
And
What
look
do
at
you know
that,
what I mean?
Usman, we just transmitted that across the Atlantic. Now Stephen's got it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll be
True. True.
geoing
True.
everywhere
True.
I go.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful. That is
Ah,
beautiful.
cool.
there you go. Yeah, I like it. That's very,
Again,
very good.
again,
And
again,
and
again,
and
again. The beauty of cigars and bringing people together across borders.
there you go. That's it. That's it. That's all. That's really what it's all about. It's like I said at the very beginning. A cigar is a great equalizer because it doesn't matter whether it's new world or old world, if you will. It doesn't matter, like I said, if it's $2 or $250 or euros or pounds. It's the brotherhood that you're smoking something together, and you can either reminisce, tell a
Absolutely.
story, or just
Absolutely.
reflect. And that's the best part about having a cigar and a scotch. So we're going to tell you. What do I know? I read it in a book. So, Rizzo, what's our topic next week? What are you going to make us? What are you going to
You
make
know
me
what?
try to
That's a
go through
very
history?
embarrassing. That's an embarrassing question. I really struggle with this question throughout the whole
Okay.
show. I'm looking for a cue or something. The problem is on this particular show, we because Usman has joined and he's enriched the show by going off in some really nice directions. I'm
Yeah.
almost at a loss as to what to pull out of the air.
Wow, there's a first.
And no. I may have the nub of an idea right now. I may have the nub, but
Okay.
I don't quite know how it will translate. I was going to suggest something I think is a very, very, again, a difficult topic
Sure.
because it's a broad topic. I was going to suggest fraternity. Because we've
Okay.
spoken about cigars from a fraternal perspective and sort of cigars bring us together, but I'm not quite sure. I'm going to suggest something. I'm going to suggest that you let me marinate on the idea for next week.
Okay. Well, don't marinate
And
too long because I have to do my global research and go back,
I know you have to do your
47
global
million
research,
years.
and you're
So.
very good. You start saying, like, before the show has ended, you've already got like 10 people picked out for the next
Pretty
show.
much. Yeah.
Let me marinate on this one and share
Okay.
that with you privately so that we at least have
Okay.
something different to go in with for next week.
I like that.
I don't know. Maybe Usman enjoyed the show. Maybe he would like to join us next week. Maybe not, or maybe in a couple of weeks. Whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And every time you come, if you would, because you are technically now, unfortunately for you, the cigar expert, you should give a little bit of wisdom to all the novices out there so they learn something. Like now we learned how to properly light a cigar that Riza and I still won't do properly. But the people should know it. And then they should probably learn the difference between a V cut and a guillotine and a this and a that and blah, blah, blah. And,
it would be
all
really
these
nice.
things.
It would be really, really nice. That's a great idea, Stephen.
And
If Usman on the next show could just talk to us about the relative benefits, comparisons, or relevance of different cigar cuts on different cigars. Why is a V cut appropriate? Why is a straight cut appropriate? Why is a punch cut appropriate? Just whether it's a practical reason, whether it changes the flavor, whatever it is. If Usman could talk to us about that, that would be absolutely amazing. I love this bite-sized nugget of education from Usman on perhaps vitola sizes. Vitola being the sort of model, the size of a cigar.
Yep. It's good because then people will know, because most people I find, and I'm like I like to read and study so I have a good idea about why I'm smoking something or why there's a flavor or how it was rolled or made, or I like that. But most guys that think they're aficionados because they just happen to spend $12 million a year. They know nothing about the cigar that they're actually smoking. Like when I go to, like I have guys that send me my Cubans, and I'm talking people, they bring the cigars with them. But when I have Cubans or if I have New World, if I don't know about the cigar, I will go to my local chemist and I'll say, tell me everything about it. And they'll tell me about the construction and the wrapper and I need to understand that, and just for my own edification. So I think for the people that are getting into cigars or the people that may think they're aficionados, this may enlighten them a little more to get them to whatever the next level is. They may not want to be a sommelier for the Habana, but at least they'll get them to a level where they can actually talk more intelligently.
The enjoyment level goes up. If you know more about the cigar, the enjoyment level goes up.
By all means, I agree.
I really like the idea, as well as the fact that I'm humbled by you guys asking me to share that. I think all of us are learning every single day, and in cigars, I learn almost every single day. With all, there's a different experience. Depending on where I am, what I'm smoking, what I'm pairing it with, what am I doing, and all that stuff. And yes, what you mentioned, the difference between cigar aficionados and cigar smokers or anyone, I totally agree and resonate with what you said. To me, it doesn't dollars or $12 on your cigars, because as long as you're enjoying it, as long as you think it's worth your time, money, and it gives you that me time or the camaraderie that you long for. Some people prefer smoking cigars alone. Some people prefer smoking cigars in company as a social activity. As long as that's the fulfillment you're getting, that there's no substitute to that. So I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I'm somebody's interested. Just a few days ago, I saw a YouTube video by again a brother and someone I learned from, Jasim Ahmed, who was the Hombre Habano for last year in the Habanos World Festival. Is the difference between cigar smokers and cigar aficionados, and that explains the difference between exactly what you said, Doesn't matter how much money you spend. What matters is what's the passion that's going into it, and how you take
Correct.
it. So yeah,
That's
why
true.
not? We
I
would
agree.
love to talk about more.
Sure. And this will educate people, and then they can hear who our dinner guests are. That, or they'll fast forward to the end. Either way works. So, so next
Sounds good.
week we don't know who our dinner guests are going to be yet. So this will be interesting. But this week's dinner guest was all of the New York City and police department from 9/11. We had Genghis Khan. We had two wonderful gentlemen from Pakistan. We had Muhammad Ali, which was, I think, a unanimous decision from everybody. And we also had. I pronounce his name wrong.
Absolutely.
Shinzu, the guy who wrote Art of War. Since we're talking about fighters, you got to
We
have
had
him.
Jinnah, we had
Yep.
Abdul Sattar Easy,
Yeah.
Geo,
Yeah.
everyone.
Geo, as they say, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Now watch out. I'm going to be using this constantly. So I'm going to get T-shirts made. So and people are like, what? So and then now we have to figure out how we're going to spell it, because there's GEO, and then it could be spelled another way.
I think GEO is a very good spelling, because GEO relates to the Earth as well. It's a geo.
Okay.
It's also a Pakistani TV station and media outlet, but
we can't be banned.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, if you want to catch more of the craziness, you can go. As you can see, Usman has his Instagram handle. If you can't figure that out, go to Two Old Farts Making Noises on Instagram, and we'll hook you up with him. Riz's Instagram is there as well.
I put a link to Usman on my story this morning on my Instagram, which is there. If you want to see his Instagram, go on my story and click on him.
And then if not, they come to us, and we have both of you guys linked to us, and they can go there, and then we'll link it in the bios. And if there's any questions you have for next week, put them down below, and we will have him answer them, since we have a real cigar expert, not us, on the thing that goes, look, it's a cigar, we're going to light it. And then we'll go from there. So we'll get that.
Yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. There's going to be more of these videos. Keep doing it. If you've got nasty things to say, say them, because Stephen will ignore you. And, if he doesn't ignore you, he'll send them to me, and then I will ignore you.
That's correct. Yes. We actually, good, bad, or indifferent, we do have a staff, and they actually do read the comments.
No, Stephen, if you send me the nasty comments, what I'll do is I will print them out, screw them up, and put them in the dustbin.
There you go. But we do actually have people that read them, because I do get messages from the girls that read them for me, and they'll be like, did you see this comment? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, how would you like to respond? I'm like, we're not going to. So we only respond to positive things. You can tell us we're idiots.
For Usman's benefit, by the way, Stephen, and for the benefit of the 26 million people watching this, and also for Mr. President Donald Trump.
Sure, Donnie.
Would you let Usman know that this is on podcast as well? It's on Spotify.
Oh yes, so this is you can, if you don't want to look at our pretty faces, and why you wouldn't want to do that, that is crazy. But it's a podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can get it on Spotify, actually YouTube, Apple, Google, Amazon,
everywhere.
And everywhere you get a podcast, just punch in Two Old Farts Making Noises, and we will pop up. And then just look for the Habanos Cigar Show, and you will find the Habanos Cigar Show, and you can listen to all the cigar shows there.
It's a bona fide radio station. This is why I'm trying very hard not to leave any radio silence in the middle, even a nervous chuckle. Fills the space up quite nicely.
Thank you.
No, it's really good. We could just screw with people and not say a word. Just sit there for an hour smoking cigars. That'll be very good. So
I would have no benefit to anyone listening to this. There's got to be some chuckling. There's got to be some.
And I will tell you something very interesting. On our podcasting, we have about 15 different shows that we run. We have a new show come out every day, because we have different shows every day. But podcasting wise, the Habanos Cigar Show is probably either number 1 or number 2 every week since it started.
How many subscribers have you got now on YouTube?
Wow.
85,000, I think. And we'll be 3 years old as of August 1st.
Wow.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Well, eventually.
Almost. August. And just so you know, today's show, if I'm not mistaken, this show is 498 or 499. 500th show will be by the end of the week.
499. That's like we've left one show because always leave people waiting?
Yes, I actually think the 500th show or 500th, however you say it, is going to be the ad hoc show that we'll be doing later today. I think if this is 499, that'll be 500, and that's with our crazy uncle and Morton and them, and that will be an interesting show. But yes, so that'll be our 500th show that we have done, and now we're, I guess, on our way to 1,000 shows. So yeah,
very quick question. I ask lots of very quick questions. I saw on your YouTube channel list, I saw a show with a thumbnail or a cartoon of someone smoking a cigar. What the hell is that about? And
we did a show.
And why did you leave me out of this?
Well, because it was a impromptu show with a guy called the Timinator or Timinator.
Right. Yes.
And he called. He goes, "Hey, we hadn't been on in a while. He wanted to come on," and we started to talk. So the beginning of the show, we started to talk about cigars, and then we started to talk about politics and new tech. And that show airs on the 24th of this month, June. And so I feed everything into AI, and that's what it came up with. So like today, I will feed this into AI, and AI will come up with, I'm sure, something cigar, whatever. And we're using a different AI model now to make our thumbnail. So I'm sure it'll come up very retro like that. So you'll have a guy smoking a cigar in yours as well. But yes, it was very impromptu, or we would have had you. And we didn't know we were going to talk about cigars. It just started. We were talking about cigars.
Apology accepted. Apology accepted.
No worries. Yes, we never have a cigar show without you. So. Yeah, but it was a very, very cool show. So we're glad we got to do it. Well, gentlemen, it has been a thrill. Usman, a pleasure. I'm glad I get to see you next week. I'm looking forward to it. Riz, as always, it's good to see you, my friend. And now I've learned how to stay. And now we have our between the three of us. No one else will know that Gio means cheers. So we're going to keep that between the three of us.
Yeah.
And then we will go from there. And gentlemen, we'll see you all next week. A wonderful show as always. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and check us out on the podcasting. Gentlemen, Gio.
Gio.
Thank you very much, Gio.